Sunny Hill. My name is Lou Bird, and it's my pleasure and privilege to be with you for your Take Fives this week. We are in 1 Corinthians 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 today, and it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Getting into Paul. Woohoo! I should explain my voice is not great right now, so I'm hoping that it will survive at least 5 minutes of me talking. So today we're in 1 Corinthians 6, and really, actually, to be honest, I could sum up like the whole of this week, everything you're going to hear this week, with this one phrase: just because you could, it doesn't mean you should. And that's basically what Paul is talking about every time he addresses the Corinthians in this letter. He's basically saying, just because you could, it doesn't mean you should, and so maybe don't. And so that's pretty much going to summarize all I'm going to say to you today. I was really challenged by the kind of first part, well, the whole of it really. But the first part I felt was really interesting about lawsuits among believers. And Paul really sets out in this first part of this chapter just a massive standard that he believes Christians should have that's different to the rest of the world. And he really labors this point to the Corinthian church that you are called to be different. You are called to be holy. You are called to have that holiness affect absolutely every single thing about the way that you live, including your rights. Now, that's a big one for us today in today's society. It's obviously a really big one for the Corinthian church too, these new believers here, because they were people who were holding on tight to their right for justice, their right to be heard, their right to be able to do what they wanted to do or do what they believed was fair to do. And yet in the Corinthian church, there was obviously lawsuits happening amongst the believers where maybe they didn't want to deal with it in-house, so they took it to the courts to try and get justice because they had the right for justice. And Paul in this chapter is saying there's something bigger than your rights that's happening, though, church. There's something bigger than what's owed to you. It's the unity of the church. And I was really challenged by this. And he's talking to the church about their holiness and their need to be different, and they need to be seen to be different. So one of the things that I thought was interesting, where was it? I can't find where it says. But he basically says, why not be cheated? Why not be wronged? Like, what's so bad about those things? For the sake of the unity of the church, why not just be wronged? Why not just be cheated? Like, why are your rights more important than the unity of the church? And he goes on, verse 12 onwards, to talk about sexual immorality in the church. And again, this higher standard of living that we as Christians are called to, that we once maybe lived in this way, but now we have found Jesus, we are called to live in this way, and we live differently as a result. The holiness in us should cause us to live differently because of what Jesus has done for us. And I was really challenged by that. I hope you're challenged by that today. Maybe there's some things you can think about maybe, I don't know, what's happening in church life. Maybe there's friendships happening. Maybe there's fallouts happening. I don't know what's going on in how you are living in Christian community. But my encouragement to you today is to live according to who you are now, not who you were then, before you met Jesus. The rules are different. The standard is different. The standard has changed. And maybe now, actually, we don't just do things because we could. We have to make a different choice. Just because you could doesn't mean you should. And I heard this great quote. Oh, gosh, it's getting very bright. Is it Jesus? Is it Jesus? Probably not. It's probably the sun. The quote is, church growth is God's responsibility, but church health is ours. So church, you and I are responsible for how healthy our church is. Maybe there's some decisions that we could make that would be different to how the world would make them, but maybe they're still the right ones because we pursue holiness, not worldliness. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 7. Woohoo! 7? Is that still a thing?